Good evening, Jackie O'Gannon, here to share some more from Fruit from a Poisonous Tree. The last time we were together, I was to give you some examples of American history that we were not taught in school. The second president, John Adams, a founding father, a forefather of yours truly, someone who should have known better, got the Aliens and Sedition Act passed. That law allowed the deportation of any non-citizen who was judged to be dangerous to the United States, even if the country was not actually at war. No trials was required. The Sedition Act made criticizing the government a prison offense. These laws were passed and used to silence the public opposition to Adams' foreign policy, especially used to imprison newspaper publishers of the opposition political party, Thomas Jefferson, Democratic Republican. A long time ago, right? That may be so, but it was the beginning of a tradition within our public politics. In the 20th century, there was the infamous Sedition Act in World War I. It was used to jail social reformers, activists, and other people with whom the government disagreed, and if they were non-citizens, to expel them. Especially, it made speaking out against war a prison offense. Prominent journalists and civil libertarians were jailed for merely reading from the Constitution. Oliver Wendell Holmes, the famous liberal Supreme Court justice, voted to uphold this curtailment of the First Amendment with his now famous statement comparing the activists for peace during war to shouting fire in a crowded theater. I have often believed that a judge is a lawyer with an IQ of 50, nothing more. The next shameful event in our history, which still plague us today, was the War Powers Act of 1933. This act permitted President Roosevelt to make law in the form of executive order, bypass Congress, and create his socialist state. We citizens of this country were ever after to be considered enemies of the United States, who must be licensed to engage in any commercial activity. With the aid of the Federal Reserve, the same people who created the Depression, the president confiscated all gold and silver coins and replaced it with a worthless paper and a debt system that will eventually destroy this great country. Our land and our labors were pledged to the Federal Reserve Bank, Inc., as collateral for a debt system that could never be paid. How can this most important event in our history not be taught in school? But it's a lot of things that weren't taught in school. Tune in and you can find out more. Have a good evening.